it's Chris Gio. Welcome back. You are with me and Merchant Method, and today is Tuesday, January 10, 2017. So thanks for coming back and staying tuned. There were some issues with Facebook Live and my camera that we've taken care of. So today's topic is 90-day retail business planning. So much conversation is happening around the new year. I know that you've been exploring it for several weeks, and I've wanted to give you this time to continue to dream big, beautiful business dreams. And then I'm going to provide a structure, a retail-focused structure to help you shape and guide your dreams for the next 90 days. If you are new to Merchant Method, welcome. I'm really excited to have you. I help independent retailers and makers through consulting services and training build bigger profit with ease because it can be easier. So here is the calendar for January trend reports. Last week, I talked about post-holiday selling tips. There is more revenue to drive this month. How do you make the most out of your fourth quarter of business? This week, we're talking about planning for quarter one. And as I was preparing for this topic, there is so much to share. So I'm going to share half of it this week, give you some homework, and share the second half next week. So 90-day business planning is going to span 2 trend reports. And next week, I'll continue to talk about post-holiday sales results. And then the fourth week of January, 2 weeks from now, the original topic was preparing for Valentine's Day. I'm taking that off the table. We can push that out to the following week, but I have been reading a lot of industry news that I think is relevant for us to talk about in a few weeks. And I want to address the closures of retail brick and mortar stores among traditional and big retailers and how you can respond to it in your business. You have a lot of advantages that you can utilize. Use your size to your advantage and let the big retailers respond to their business. You can respond to your business in a way that keeps you competitive and compelling. Before we start, I have a few announcements. The first is I want you to grab something to write with. We're talking about process and notes. Rather than having to listen to this twice, go ahead and write some notes. I also will be posting a general outline of what I discuss in this trend report on the website. And then keep watching the trend report because at the end, I will share a free gift I have for you, this free, big, beautiful calendar that you're going to want if you want to go the way of a retail planning calendar. Next, I want you to like the Facebook page if you aren't already. If you stumbled upon this video, like the Facebook page. You'll get notified of when I'm live. I'm also going to start sharing reference articles on the Facebook page. I find them really helpful, and I think you will too. My last announcement is I have a shout out specifically for makers, small batch manufacturers, and then retailers with a maker mindset. And so typically retailers with a maker mindset have a significant portion of their assortment dedicated to local makers, hand makers, artisans, creatives. So if you are in this category of maker or maker mindset, I'm going to be hosting a comprehensive free training that is benchmark training for makers, for creatives like you. So on the Facebook page, I will be sharing more information about when this will be. It's in the coming weeks and how to sign up. All right, let's talk about planning for the next 90 days. So part 1 of this trend report has 2 focuses. The first is the benefits of a retail calendar. If your product is in any way, shape, or form tied to general consumerism, and that's not consumerism with any negative feelings, just general seasonality. Generally, when people spend, you're going to want to know this stuff. It's foundational. It impacts a lot of what we see and hear around us. Number 2, I'm going to walk you through how to effectively recap your past so you can focus and plan your future in a way that's responsive to what happened and not planning in a vacuum. It's going to be very specific to retail, to product-based businesses, because a lot of general information already exists for entrepreneurs and planning 2017, and then around personal planning as the new year rolled around. Why do I need it to be retail specific for you? Because adding more retail rigor to your current goal planning process is really a key behavior in unlocking more retail profit. And number two, quarterly retail planning allows you to connect the dots between your big, beautiful goals for the year and the 5 R's of retail. Alignment is key. So let's dive in. I really like retailminded.com and NRF.com. NRF stands for National Retail Federation, for more detailed information about how the retail calendar came about, what the benefits are, but I will recap it for you here. So this calendar was originally introduced in the 1930s, and it came about as a result of a conversation that happened with those in the industry. Prior to this calendar getting pretty widely adopted in the 40s, retailers used a straight calendar for reporting purposes. And a straight calendar is what you can buy from the mall at a mall kiosk, where the first day of the year is January 1st, the last day of the year is December 31st. That's a straight calendar. But a lot of challenges were posed for retailers, and some of the specific challenges were that the number of weekends in a month shift from year to year, right? So the month February 1st could be a Wednesday, a Monday, a Tuesday, which means it shifts all the weekends. And number two, Saturdays and Sundays, the sales that were ringing in on the weekends were becoming an increasingly bigger portion, bigger portion of the week revenue. And when there's volatility in the number of weekends in a month, it becomes very difficult to plan, forecast, staff, execute. So the industry wanted to normalize and take away as much noise, so you could look at the things that you could actually impact. That's how it came about. Knowing the number of days in a month, the number of days in a week, make it so much easier for us to plan and to recap. So the first thing that you need to know about this calendar is it's totally voluntary. There is no calendar police. You can absolutely run your business according to any calendar that you want, but alignment and awareness are really, really important, and the industry has adopted it for a reason. It's effective. Basically, it allows you to compare apples to apples, right? When you compare apples to apples, when you think about Economics 101, take away as much volatility as you can is a good thing when you're trying to predict the future and make inventory investments, monetary investments, resource investments about a future that's already volatile. Basically, a year is divided into 4 quarters, like any calendar, but every quarter has 13 full weeks. 7 days in a week, 13 full weeks. And the months are allocated as 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then 4 weeks. So you'll hear me talk about a 4-5-4 calendar. That's the retail calendar. It ensures that every week starts on a Sunday and ends on a Saturday. For me, I've been in the industry for so long. When I look at a personal planner or a calendar that starts on a Monday, it really throws me off. And because I like things aligned and clear, my personal calendars are also a Sunday to a Saturday. I'm so into it. My personal calendars are a retail calendar. I also like it because it allows you to align commercial holidays. We all know that February 14th is a different day of the week, and December 25th is a different day of the week. So you can see how your holidays shift for commercial purposes. You can plan for it. I love this calendar. But there poses some important challenges that the industry knows about that you need to know about. So if we're looking at 13-week quarters, and there are 4 quarters in a year, you've got 52 weeks. If we're looking at 52 weeks and every week has 7 days, you have 364 days. We're short a day every year. And the calendar waits to accumulate these extra days before it adds any additional days to the year. So it means every seventh day, or every seventh year, there's a 53 week. It's the only reason why I am telling you about this now is because this year, 2017, is a 53 week year. And there's a way to respond to it. You'll hear a lot through the trend reports. You'll read a lot in industry news, restated sales or realigned sales figures. What they're basically doing, what we basically do, is we get rid of the first week of a 53-week year. And since the retail calendar starts February week 1, when we're doing our due diligence and comparing apples to apples, we get rid of the first week. That's some technical information, but you need to be aware of it. And when you go to nrf.com or retailminded.com and just search retail calendar, there's a lot of great information about how to really look at year over year. I'm going to be talking about at the end of the trend report this calendar. It allows us to look at 2016, 2017, 2018. Every black square represents a holiday, so you can see how they shift over time. I'm a huge fan. And the reason why we start talking about this first is the way that I'm recommending for you to plan your business is by quarter. We start the year really strong. We start the year with a lot of passion because we've closed out a big season. I like to work on big goal planning, break that down, and then plan 90 days at a time. It allows you to balance both short-term and long-term goal planning. It's important to have both. Before we get too carried away about forward planning, we have to look at the past. We have to recap and hindsight and take advantages of our successes, recognize our opportunities, and use our businesses as case studies. So that's what we're talking about next. If you've never done quarterly business reviews, set aside some time in your schedule the first week that follows the end of a quarter. So for retailers, if quarter 1 is Feb, March, April, May week 1, schedule an hour to review your business. Then you've got May, June, July. August week 1, schedule an hour to review quarter 2. It's great to throw them in your calendar so that you don't let the momentum of the business and the momentum of time take away any memory you have about your successes and your opportunities. I'm going to actually ask you to set aside 2 hours because we just finished a year as well. I want you to recap the holidays and we're in the middle of fourth quarter, but you know, we're in January week 2. You can start this process. If fourth quarter was especially big for you, dissecting and studying holiday is going to be really important. And then set aside a separate time to review the entire year. It's hard to remember what happened February 2016, and so it's going to be important for you to jog your memory, revisit your calendars, revisit emails, revisit reports, so that you can do a comprehensive year-end review. I have 6 questions for you and 4 filters. And I'll first review the 6 questions for which you'll answer using the 4 filters. So there's going to be 24 points of analysis. This primarily is a qualitative business review. When you're closing out your books, go quantitative. Study the data, study the figures, but don't miss out on the opportunity to remember the qualitative opportunity that you have to move your business forward. Okay, so here are the 6 questions, and here's what I want you to write down. What did you say you were going to do for the last 90 days or for the year? What were those goals you set forward? Second question is, what did you do? So you're comparing your actual against your plan. The next 2 questions are to evaluate what you did. So question number 3 is, what worked? And success, what worked, again, can be both qualitative and quantitative. You could have stumbled upon a really effective process that hasn't yielded financial results yet, but you know it works. Or you could have stumbled upon something that your customers and clients absolutely love, and the financial reward will be 6 months down the road, 2 weeks down the road. And on the flip side, what didn't work? And then the next set of 2 questions is, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change things? What will you do differently? What are you going to leverage? So question number 5 is, what did you learn? This question is so important. What did you learn? Because if you spend the time to think through what you learned, and you do that regularly, you can course correct future choices based on what you learned in the past. And then the 6th question is, what are you going to do moving forward? They're really simple questions. What did you say you would do, and what did you do? What worked and what didn't work? What did you learn, and what are you going to do moving forward? Because it's wonderful to assess and appreciate and analyze the business like beautiful art, but then we actually need to do something about it going forward. And as you ask yourself these questions, for product-based businesses, you're using 4 filters, so think through each filter as you answer the question. Profit, which typically is profit and revenue. Expenses, right? Expenses and revenue, profit. Product, this can include your product assortment, inventory fulfillment, production, packaging. Process, typically operations, but process can also include marketing, customer interaction and engagement, vendor management, and then people. Those on your team, those that you work with virtually, people can also include vendor management as well. And that is your homework, actually. So I want you to set aside 2 hours. 1 hour for a comprehensive quarterly review of holiday, and then a separate one for the entire year. If you've worked on this already, I'm going to challenge you to go back and revisit. It is really refreshing to see your business and your successes from a different point of view. If you have a trusted partner, a trusted counterpart, someone in your family that has been with you through the business, it's also really good to get their perspective. I did this with my husband, who's an important part of Merchant Method. He's very strategic and very legally savvy as an attorney and as someone who works in operations, and it's really good to get his perspective to see things from a different point of view. Have them help you recap. This is a process where it's great to be able to take away some of the emotion, not take away the passion, but some of the emotion out of the process so that you can plan the future more level-headed and not be too reactionary about it. So that's the homework, 2 hours. If you do it, you will thank yourself. Your business will thank you, and therefore your customers will thank you and spend more money. Then the next thing I want you to do is, after you've recapped, revisit your goals for 2017 and make sure your goals are SMART. So if you're not familiar with SMART goal planning, the acronym stands for specific. That means no ambiguity in your goals, no gray. Measurable, because what you measure improves. And a measure doesn't have to mean $1 million of sales. It can mean, did I achieve it? Yes. Or did I achieve it? No. Actionable. So I want you to detail the steps that must happen in order for you to achieve that goal. Realistic, right? So set goals around things that you can control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control many, many things. So set yourself up for success and make sure your goals are realistic. And then time bound. So set some milestone dates, not just an end date for when you want to achieve it, but some midway checkpoints along the way. And then what you're going to do is join me next week, and then we're going to talk about the next 90-day process and how to look forward. If you are enjoying and liking the thought process behind the retail calendar, go to merchantmethod.com and sign up for the newsletter. You can let me know that you're a retail business owner or a retail leader, or check that to let me know you're interested in the calendar. And I'm sending it out next week to get you ready for the next 90 days of planning. Again, our year starts February week 1, not February 1st. February 1st is a Wednesday. Our week starts on Sunday, and I believe that is January 29. January 29. So we have some time to keep planning. And that is our trend report. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to engaging with you on Facebook, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.